Now, in the case of the American convert that goes over to fight ISIS.
So I completely agreed with you here. So just acknowledge that. I mean, so that's you weren't expecting me to agree with you. You think that I'm sort of on record saying that no, honor killing is purely the result of Muslim doctrine, right? That's not something I've ever believed. I just think there's
tremendous nuance in your points and my points. I don't view anything you say in a blanket statement. That's why I want to have this conversation so that it's clear, right? So, am I in favor of profiling? Yes. Okay, but the question is how you profile, right? Do you do it based, what factors do you do it on? Do you do it on race? Do you do it on religion? Which is actually, again, as we talked about in the beginning here, actually impossible in the case of Islam because there's so many different races that are in Islam that you can't even do it based on that. Or do you do it based on actions, okay?
Oh, we've been here 3 hours. I mean, there's things much, much worse in the world, right? But man, there's a lot bigger injustice in the world, okay? Okay, this is a small thing. It's not a bigger thing because it happened to me, right? Victory! It's a small thing that happens to all of us, but these small things add up, man. There's a small injustice compared to what happens in the world. But it is a symbolic of what happens to people.
And other things that we have seen that other terrorists have done. So, for example, 2 examples. One is, if someone is profusely sweating.
This shit is crazy, dog.
And they seem nervous. Of course, check them more than the Norwegian grandmother, right? And actions.
And I'm hungry and I'm tired, and so, like, you know me, I get more agitated when I'm hungry and tired. So, look, if you guys think this is bad, wait till, if that plane doesn't actually come from the hangar in 20 minutes. By the way, security.
And actions.
They can get security here, they just can't get a plane here. So, well, that's that's against us. Yeah, it's not for us, it's against us.
Shit just got real there. I was just as angry as him as before. I wasn't yelling like that, but I like that he's yelling for us.
So people are mad. I'm not the only one mad.
Listen.
No, it's not. He's not in the worst position. I'm gonna miss my flight if I don't get this like.
That's nothing.
I already lost my bag. No, it is something. Maybe it's not something for you, but it's for me.
Believe me. Believe me.
It's not for you.
I can show you my girlfriend's naked pictures here.
Damn! World star!
And actions.
But they work for American Airlines, so they should know everything? No, they just focus on what they do, bro.
They get paid for it. They're supposed to have an answer.
I agree.
And you gotta let him know this is getting out of control.
I deserve someone to stand up for him.
He works here, so he should know every fucking answer.
We can get in someone else's drill when it's not necessarily his fault. He's trying to do the best he can, and he actually handled the job very well. For someone to be yelled at and to not want to throw a punch back, that takes a man. And to me, that man acted pretty well in given the situation. Wait, would you not have hit somebody if someone was yelling at you like that? I would have stuck him in the friggin' face.
And actions.
Is there a plane? You gotta be honest. Is there a plane? There's no plane.
Cenk dropping truth.
There's no plane. Where's the plane?
Where is the plane?
Plane, is there a plane? Is there a plane? Where's the plane? Where's the plane? Is there a plane? Where is it? Where's the plane?
Do you have a phone card?
Where's the plane?
We are saying
Where's the plane? Where's the plane?
Sorry, I'm not gonna answer your question.
No, I know, because I've been here for 4 hours. Don't give me this. Where's the plane? Where's the plane?
let's keep it legal because this is legal stuff.
Where's the plane? Who made the decision? Who made the decision?
That's right.
Who made it? We never had a plane. So who made the decision not to give us a plane? Who made the decision? Somebody made it. He said it wasn't him. I believe him.
But you guys are supervisors. Who made the decision not to give us a plane? Because there is no plane. There's no plane.
Yeah, oh, she just rolls her eyes.
No, it is somebody's fault, dude. Well, who is it then? That's what I'm asking. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? No, but they told us that 4 hours ago. Is it actually coming?
Lie after lie.
Is it actually coming? Because I literally heard it was coming from the hangar 3 hours ago. I literally heard that.
Actions.
Based on your actions.
So that is a reasonable way to profile. That's exactly what you should be doing. You know why? Because I travel all the time. My family travels all the time. I don't want the plane to blow up. Okay? Yeah. Another thing that you could look at is, are they clean shaven? So you and I should get profiled more than people who are not clean shaven, in my opinion, okay? Because on 9/11, they made sure to shave before they went in so they wouldn't arouse suspicion. Now, that might be wrong, right or wrong as a factor, but I get that that could be a factor, right? But so if you're doing it based on specific actions, perfectly sensible. But if you do it based on religion, one, it's not doable. Two, if you do it based on race, it gets my second objection. Well, then if it's not a race, then how can you profile? And I thought that was an interesting question and one that I hadn't thought of.
No, Islam is not a race, right?
So it turns out anybody could be a mass killer, so it's not an efficient way of profiling. Action is much more efficient. Whereas if you were doing it on action, you'd say, this guy looks weird, his eyes are twitching, he looks crazy.
You do it on everything. You take political correctness out of the equation, right?
I'm happy to.
No, it's not just based on, I mean, that is a PC myth that is just based on action. It's based on everything. It's based on whether you've been to Pakistan. It's based on your passport, your nationality, absolutely your religion, the look in your eye, everything. It's based on whatever a well-trained person can get off of you in the split second or the hour it takes to vet you.
So Sam, when you combine the things we've been talking about, one of the issues, and I want to move on to the other stuff which is even more dangerous, and we're at some point going to run out of patience, you and I and the audience, etc., 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 and etc., 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 etc. Is that okay? We talk about vast numbers of Muslims, as you talk about. You say it's mainly connected to their faith, so we have to be especially careful about them, right? And then we say, well, we should, if they, based on whatever it is, race, or they've been to Pakistan, or whatever it is, we should look forward to profiling them, right? When you put all these things, that's not the best way of putting it, but they get profiled more than others do, right? When we put all these things together, a lot of people then come back and go, I mean, at a bare minimum, Sam, you are giving permission for people to generalize about Muslims.
Okay, well let's
and that's dangerous. In the words of Sandra Day O'Connor, when she was talking about a different topic about the dictatorship, even in America, Sandra Day O'Connor said this. Right. She said, "Let us avoid those beginnings so we could avoid those endings." Okay, and that seems like a dangerous beginning.
It's a well, it depends on how it would be implemented, right? So it's a dangerous beginning if there's some grotesque apparatus that causes anyone who sort of looks Middle Eastern to suffer a 4-hour ordeal at the airport where white guys just breeze on through, right? It's unfair, it's inflammatory, it's not, the thing that we should want, and the thing that all Muslims, frankly, should want, is the thing that would be totally rational and would dial down the risk of this kind of terrorism on airplanes to the lowest practical level. So presumably 99.9% of Muslims getting on airplanes don't want to be blown up by a jihadist, right?
Of course.
And presumably an honest person of whatever faith will admit that the next person who blows up an airplane is more likely to be Muslim than Amish or Methodist or Mormon, and the list goes on. It's not that no one else could do it. It's not that a Breivik couldn't do it.
But to your $10 example, we only have $10. If I'm checking all the Muslims, I'm wasting so much of that because we agree that 99.9% of them are not going to do it. So what we're looking for is the shifty dude who is acting like he might bomb the plane. Yeah. If we spend our $10 on that guy, it's going to be much better spent.
Oh, no, of course we spend the $10. We pay attention to behavior, absolutely. So let's put behavior at the top of the list, right? Mm-hmm. Behavior is the most important thing. The guy who looks like a maniac who's about to die, right? That's the, whatever that looks like,
Richard
right? That's we want to pay attention to that guy. Yeah, well, Richard Reed was he looked that was a great mugshot, if nothing else. But so I'm saying all the information has to anything that is valid information.
And I'm saying the reason you shouldn't put religion or race among those factors is because it leads to other dangerous things. So let's get to that part of the conversation. Am I in favor of profiling? Yes. Okay. But the question is how you profile, right? Do you do it based, what factors do you do it on? Mm-hmm. Do you do it on race? Do you do it on religion? Which is actually, again, as we talked about in the beginning here, actually impossible in the case of Islam because there's so many different races that are in Islam that you can't even do it based on that. Right. So when you say, hey, you know what, maybe there are circumstances under which we can do torture, right?
Like the smell of victory.
And we've already set the table with all these things we can do to Muslims, like profiling maybe, and that's a factor. It's not the only factor, it's a factor, etc., right? Okay, then we get...
that's not a fair summary. It's not everything I've said about profiling applies to me, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not a Muslim, so if I whatever profile, and again, I don't know the details of how to implement this.
You do say, I mean, let's be honest. We should do it more to people who look Muslim, because we all get wedded to our identities and secretly want to defend it, no matter how much we're atheists or agnostics.
No, anyone who could, we should not pay attention to people, we should pay less attention to people who couldn't conceivably be Muslim.
But also, right? By definition, more attention to people who could conceivably look Muslim.
Yes, and I put myself squarely in that category. So
I don't think you're. I know that. I get that. So I'm not saying you're biased in that regard. I'm just saying it's a bad idea.
What did but what did John Walker Lindh look like? What does Adam Gadon, the American Al Qaeda guy, look like? He shaves his beard. He looks like me, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever regime I would implement if I were the profiling czar applies to me. It's not doesn't just apply to you.
I don't think you're biased there.
But many of my critics don't get that, and I'm just saying that we shouldn't obviously squander our resources.
I understand you completely, and I've stated why I still think it's a bad idea, despite that.
Fine.
Okay.
All right, supervisor, the plane came. Okay. All right, I don't want to take video of the cops. Okay. All right, looks like I'm the last one.
You call the reservations number, or you go
okay, so I'm removed from this flight?
Or you go to the customer service desk.
Am I removed? Guess what just happened? They kicked me off the plane. Isn't that unbelievable? Because those guys got animated and me a little bit adding on at some point, and as you'll see in the video, finally a plane came. And for our troubles, we were removed from that plane. That's how power works. You can't upset power because it'll try to crush you. This is America these days, man. Okay.
Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it?
Well, we don't want to be the kind of guys to say, we told you so. We told you so! Get me a glass, a big glass.
On actions.
Based on your actions.
Isn't that unbelievable?